Peace and blessings. Welcome to the Sacred Wellness Alchemy Show. I'm your host, Giovanna Tisdale, the Sacred Wellness Alchemist. This is your sacred space to heal, restore, realign, and step into rebirth. Here we are all about living abundantly ever after. Here on the show, I share my experiences along with my work as a spiritual coach and healer to guide you through transformative practices for your mind, body, soul, and money. Together, we explore healing, manifestation, and the alchemy of creating your most abundant life while embracing authenticity, joy, and soul-centered growth. I'm here to help you release what holds you back, restore your energy, realign with your purpose, and experience a full rebirth in every area of your life. Welcome back. This is episode 2 of the Sacred Wellness Alchemy Show. There are so many things that I want to talk to you about, but I'm trying to get these foundational episodes out first. And this one is about my origin story, how the Sacred Wellness Alchemist came about. And I'm going to give you a very short description or summary is do not allow other people to direct your passion, your vision, your dreams, or your goals. So there's that. So I began blogging I built my first website in 1999 and it was called like a diamond in the rough or something like that. And I always found writing, whether in a journal or a digital journal or blog, to be very therapeutic and healing and inspirational for me. I went through a dark night of the soul, very challenging situation, being in an abusive relationship, having a child, and going through a breakdown all before the age of 25. And I wrote a lot. I even have journals and notebooks to this day filled with poetry and just, journal entries. And something inspired me to start blogging. So back then it was Blogger. I started, and honestly, it wasn't anything to share with people. It was literally just to trauma dump, to get all of the icky, yucky thoughts in my head out. But what I found is that as I approached my writing from this very hurt, wounded, broken place, instead of those words coming onto the page, I found that as I was writing, I was inspiring myself. I was feeding that little light that was still within me. And so I realized that I could help other people through my writing. So I started taking my blogging a little more seriously and started Positive Forward Movement, which was about money. It was about mindset. It was about success, goals, planning, and of course my life too. Positive Forward Movement was the through line. It was the mantra that I spoke daily, multiple times throughout the day while I was navigating all of the things connected to the abuse and trauma, and including child custody, going to court, dealing with that, navigating the crazy economic climate at that time, just dealing with all of those things, right? So I would say life is all about positive forward movement. And that to me was a cue to focus. If it's not positive and if it's not moving me forward, it does not matter. And so that put blinders on and led me out of the darkness into the light. So during that time, there was a lot of gurus and coaches and sign up for this workshop and I'll teach you how to monetize and that whole craze that was going on back then. And I wanted to help other people because I realized why it took me so long to heal myself and truly overcome what I experienced is because I didn't have any support. There were no real communities. Mental health was not a thing, especially within the Black community at that time. And it was just no support. And so all I had was myself. And when you are dealing with major depressive disorder and suicidal ideation, having just yourself is a very dangerous combination. I would not recommend that or wish that on anyone. And luckily, I was enough, and the tools and resources that I were using at the time were enough. That was kind of my springboard. And that is what helped me heal was yoga and meditation, working with essential oils, herbal remedies. I went and did acupuncture. I was doing spiritual baths and spiritual practices. I started working with tarot, and that tool really helped me understand what the hell was going on, because it helped me make sense out of the mess that was in my head at the time. And that's why I'll always be an advocate as tarot for a tool for healing and personal growth and spiritual development and creativity and planning and all the other things too. But that was kind of where I placed my stake in the ground. Then it seemed as I was evolving, right? Once I kind of anchored myself into, I've got the attitude of gratitude, positive forward movement is anchored into me. That is a core essence of myself. Then I segued into the spiritual love healer, which was positive forward movement, and then expanding into love, relationships, matters of the heart, healing your emotions, forgiveness, compassion, all of those things. And it was from the lens of like, relationships are not just intimate partner relationships. It is relationship with yourself, the people around you, and the world around you. Because believe it or not, we have relationships with things as well, like with our home, with our job, with our vehicles. Like there's so many different tangible things that we use and that we connect with. So I wanted it to look at a holistic perspective of relationships. And so that's what I did there. And then I felt another calling to go even deeper and more laser focused. So Healing Single Mothers was birthed. And I focused on building a community for single moms. And again, that was kind of out of my own need and desire. I remember seeing this post. It was like a few months before Christmas that was saying someone didn't want to hear single moms complaining about the holidays because they don't have money or whatever the case may be. And I was just like, that's some bullshit. Let me create a safe space for us, because I was a single mom at the time. And so that's what I did. I just took the work that I was doing and applied it to single mothers, which now Healing Single Mothers has evolved into Sacred Motherhood. And it's also a book that I have been slowly writing. It's called Healing Single Mothers, Reclaiming the Sacredness of Motherhood. And so again, once I anchored these teachings in, it seemed like there was something deeper that I needed to embrace. And so there was Abundantly Ever After. And Abundantly Ever After was about healing, growing, and thriving after pain, after trauma. So again, it kind of encompassed everything that I was doing before and focused on helping you to manifest the love and life that you desire and deserve. A lot of times when it comes to manifestation, we can feel like we want this or that we deserve this, but there may be some old programming running in the background that's still keeping you, stuck under a certain level or certain position. So, Abundantly Ever After was really about doing the core inner work, even shadow work, so that you can get to a place of receptivity and true knowing that you absolutely deserve to have it all, and that we were placed here to have it all. And so that's really what that was about. It was also about creating a healthy relationship with money and abundance as well, because abundance is and money is one of the resources we absolutely need to exist and to thrive. Interestingly enough, when I was doing positive forward movement, I was also talking about finances and budgeting. And I remember working with this coach who, I think I paid her, I don't know, it was like $97 for like a 5-day program or something like that. And it felt so icky even paying for it. And I've worked with a coach before and I've paid her $5,000 and I would easily do it again. But yeah, that was like the worst money I ever spent was on that coach. And she told me that I could not talk about finances or help other people with my finances because I wasn't in the perfect place financially. And so that kind of forced me to shift my trajectory into more of the healing, matters of the heart, things like that, which is still, again, a core part of who I am. But this is why, like when I started, I said, do not put your purpose, your passion, your goals, your dreams in the hands of other people, because it's not for them to touch. It's not necessarily there for them to understand. And what differentiates me as a coach, as a healer, as a guide, is that I don't try to tell you what you're capable of. If you say you want to, I don't know, if you want to fly to the moon, then I'm going to be like, all right, let's look at what will it take to get you to fly to the moon. And we'll break it down. It's not my fault to judge you and say, oh, well, you're too old, or you don't have enough money, or it's too late in life for you to do such a thing, or that's just crazy and silly. You need to lower your expectations. When we come to people with our heart bare and know that there's this passion, this thing inside me that desires to be transmitted, and they stomp on it or shut it down, it's so damaging. And I know that's why, like, I bounced from a thing to thing to thing. But as I was doing that bouncing, it looked like it was indecision. It looked like it was lack of clarity. But really what it was is my soul needing to express its truth. It was practice experience. And at the end of it all, it came back to financial abundance, right? And that is a core through line and seed that I will continue to walk through. And why it's so important is that because I shared, I was in a abusive relationship. If you don't have money, it's hard to leave. If you don't have money, it's hard to get resources like paying for attorneys. If you don't have money, it limits you access to systems and resources that you need. And so that will always be something that I talk about, whether I am a successful millionaire or if I am living paycheck to paycheck. I will continue to talk about it because I haven't been a millionaire yet, but I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've had it all and I've lost it all, and then I got it back and I was great, and then I might have lost it. So there's, like I talk about with the core pillars, like the release, restore, realign, rebirth, there are ebbs and flows to everything. And we really have to be more compassionate and understanding when it comes to where people are in life. So, Abundantly Ever After, Healing Single Mothers, which is now Sacred Motherhood, Spiritual Love Healing, Positive Forward Movement. Those were all also mantras that I were walking with in different times. And then came along Sacred Wellness, which integrated body. And body has always been part of my work as well. I did this like Stay Fit series, and I used to share like nutritional like things and recipes and all of that. But as I became a licensed massage and bodywork therapist, it's because as an energy healer, I could see where people were holding energetic tension in their body and also how it showed up in their physical body. So I thought, well, if I can combine massage and body work with energy work, not only can we get to the root cause, but we can release it and not have it return. And so focusing on sacred wellness, again, it's embodiment. It's like having a regulated nervous system. It is energetic care and hygiene. And then sacred wellness is also a holistic thing that encompasses mind, body, soul, and also money. So that kind of became the umbrella under which everything else resonated. And it's almost like this whole time I was just braiding these core themes, or what I call pathways, because they're all pathways within my Sacred Wellness Alchemy system. So there's positive forward movement, which is all about mastering your mindset. and that helps activate you as a leader, also activates your sovereignty. It helps you to clarify your vision as well as take inspired, soul aligned actions towards your goals and your dreams. It always, to me, starts with mindset, because if we don't have the clarity, if we don't really know what we want, then everything else is kind of scattered. So I kind of put them in order as I experienced them. So then there was the spiritual love healing pathway that is about emotional healing and healthy relationships so that you can release heartbreak, heal from any toxic and unhealthy connections, reclaiming self-worth, deepening self-love, and aligning with what I call spiritual love, which we can talk about another time. And then there's abundantly ever after, manifesting the life and love that you desire and deserve. I love to add that on because sometimes we forget that we deserve really nice things. So this is about embodying abundance, activating your prosperity codes, which I call your inner rich priestess, through money healing, manifestation, as well as aligning your mindset with that of abundance. Abundantly Ever After Show was my podcast. Okay, let me segue really quickly. So I had 3 podcasts. There was the Healing Single Mother, or AKA the Sacred Motherhood Show, the Spiritual Love Podcast, and the Abundantly Ever After podcast. I merged them all together. So now that is all the Sacred Wellness Alchemy Show. And so I will be feeding in those past episodes so that everything lives here eventually. And so you'll get to hear some of the amazing conversations and transmissions that I've shared about your mindset when it comes to money and abundance. Then there's the Sacred Motherhood. This is reclaiming motherhood as sacred. I decided to expand that portal because single motherhood, like, I never liked the word. I never referred, like, I don't like the word or referring to myself as a single mother. I always felt like I was a mother. And so a lot of moms in general need to reclaim motherhood as sacred. And so that is what the essence of that was about. And in doing so, I'll naturally elevate single mothers into sacred motherhood. So I felt like opening that pathway up would be good. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And so that's about nurturing your identity as a woman and as a mother, embracing your mommy magic. I also do a feature like called Momspiration, where it is spiritual readings and inspirational guidance specifically for mothers. It helps you also deepen your connection with your children and honor your role as a mom. And then we have Sacred Wellness, which integrates your mind, your body, and your soul, or spiritual wellness. So it's about reconnecting with your body, rebalancing your energy, and practicing holistic rituals for true holistic well-being. So a lot of times when we think of holistic, you think of like herbal practitioners or chiropractic care, functional medicine, and things like, it's a very broad catch-all. Holistic just essentially means that every part is part of the whole. So like, I can't dissect, like we can't just fix the body without also healing the mind and the soul. And I include money because it's all connected. So we can't just focus on one aspect of a client. And this is how I looked at it. I was like, if a client is coming to me for one thing, more than likely there's an imbalance or something in another area. And so I didn't want my clients to have to go here, there, and there for support and healing when I already had a massive skill set as a life coach. I have a variety of certifications in different coaching specialties. I have a variety of certifications in different energy healing modalities. And I continue to hone and develop my skills as a body worker and licensed massage therapist. And I will continue to always learn new things. Even at the time of this recording, I am resuming my yoga teacher training. I feel like now, since I have the time and the opportunity, this would be the really best use of my time and a great season of my life where I can really devote myself to this true study of yoga. So I'm really excited about that. And then I will be able to weave that into what I do for even more like body support. And I'm excited. I'm grateful. So I said all that to say that Sacred Wellness Alchemy began with me. It began with my journey and my story and the evolutions that I went through to get to this point where instead of fragmentation and segmentation, I could bring all of my disciplines, all of my work, all that I am passionate about under one umbrella. And instead of having different brands, it's just me. I'm Giovanna. I'm the Sacred Wellness Alchemist. These pathways are what I do, what I know, what I believe, and who I am, how I express myself. And they're the work that I am called to do here. And I also wanted to place my teachings in such a way that it was accessible. And so I am working on the Alchemy portal, which is going to be a membership community. And there will be a lot of information and touch points on these 5 Sacred Wellness Alchemy pathways that we just discussed. So I'm excited because it's going to be a living container of stuff, awesome stuff to help you, like I said, heal, grow, and thrive, to help you elevate and evolve in life. And I'm going to start it out at a very low introductory rate because I just have amazing plans for the space, and I want to be able to support people and make it in a way that they are able to access that support. So I'm excited about that, and I cannot wait to continue sharing with you. I will say that it's really interesting because I'm thinking about the different things I was walking with throughout each of these pathways for myself. One, of course, was like healing from an abusive relationship. The other was learning to love myself and opening my heart to love again. And then the other was parenting, reconnecting with my children, reconciling with motherhood and who I am as a mother. And recently I just had my 3rd baby girl. So now I'm even looking at that through a different lens. And then the relationship that I've had with my body, and also the relationship that I've had with money and being able to manifest and really receive opportunities. So it's really interesting. And I'm grateful to be able to share my journey with you. So this is not just something I put together for views or for likes. This is really what I live, and it's part of who I am. And I'm really, really glad that I took the long way home because it allowed me to collect so much information. It also allowed me to strip away the voices that I felt like I had to speak through. Like if I go back and look at some of like my very earliest videos, it was definitely corporate code switch. And oh gosh, it makes me cringe. Like I just felt like I had to be on. And it's like, as I went through each of these phases, the more and more and more I was able to just allow my true self to shine through. So I just really love that I'm in a place where I can be authentic, where I can be who I am, who I was created to be, because that allows me to show up in a much more sovereign and confident way rather than like, okay, I have to be the spiritual love healer because that's, the brand that I created, when I don't feel like I created Sacred Wellness Alchemy. I feel like it was revealed to me. And it's funny because I only integrated all of my podcasts, I would say, within the past week. Like I still was like operating on like, okay, I've got this show about love and relationships, and I've got this show about motherhood. And then I've got like my main show that talks about all the things. And I'm like, why are these still separate? Like, that's crazy. Like, it's all the same thing. So like bringing it in, bringing it home back to me, which feels amazing. I'm so excited. But yeah, so that's just kind of how all of this came about, is because I was doing a whole lot. I thought I had to segment everything because everything had to be one niche and you couldn't talk about multiple topics and all of that nonsense from like the past 10, 15 years in business and marketing. But like I said, all of the detours were massive learning experiences. And that's why I was able to rebrand, walk away from my business. I had a spa, the Culture Spa, and that just was not what I wanted it to be anyway. And so I had to stop working. I was pregnant. There was some, complications and things like that going on. And working was just not feasible. And so I was like, you know what? Fine. I will sit this one out and I will allow spirit to guide me as to what's next. And I do know that sometime in the near future, hopefully in the near future, but I still have my little baby to care for, and she's only 3 months, and I don't want to rush away from her, but I do know I will reopen a healing space, but it's going to be in a way that's truly authentic to who I am, the services I desire to offer, and the people that I am here to support. So that is it. Sacred Wellness Alchemy came about because I followed inspiration and I allowed change to happen. I went through the cycles of release, restore, realigning, and rebirth. And after rebirth was the Sacred Wellness Alchemy. And so there it is. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to learn more about alchemy, you can visit my website, JavonnaTisdale.com/alchemy. Right now, the price is only $27. I haven't officially opened it, but it is available to join inside. There are lots of events, like there's a book club, there's a behind or backstage podcast. So I may go deeper into certain things that I may have kind of briefly touched on in the podcast, get to ask questions and receive, more details and information. There's just a lot that goes on in there. There's also different events. There will be live healing circles, open office hours, monthly readings for the community. There's a resource library. There are master classes that I will continue to build on. There's just a lot in there for you to peruse and participate in. So if you're interested, check that out. And I will see you next time. Peace.